This island is strictly off-limits. For more than 3 decades, entry has been prohibited by law. Most people aren't even aware of its existence. Minami Iwoto is part of Tokyo. A mountain that shoots up out of the sea to an altitude of 916 meters creates its exceptional topography. Clouds formed by ocean winds envelop the mountain's uppermost reaches. In June 2017, a research expedition kicked off with special permission from the government. A group of leading Japanese researchers make their way into hidden, unknown terrain. Their mission? To conduct the very first comprehensive survey of the island. Their aim is to help unravel major mysteries about evolution. How did our planet become abundant with living creatures? How do organisms evolve in uncharted environments? The researchers believe clues can be found on this island.
世界的に見てもこれだけの標高があって面積のある場所で人間の影響がほとんどない場所っていうのはもう極めて珍しいと思います。
Creo que hubiera encontrado algunos otros elementos que le hubieran apoyado a fortalecer aún más la teoría de la evolución de las especies por selección natural.
Minami Iwoto, full of undiscovered living treasures. This is an in-depth record of a 13-day investigation and exploration of this forbidden island. A research vessel leaves the port of Yokohama. It's headed about 1,300 kilometers south to Minami Iwoto, a remote islet on the World Heritage-listed Ogasawara Island chain. A ring of rocky cliffs has discouraged human entry and preserved a precious natural environment rarely found anywhere in the world. In 1983, the Japanese government enacted a law officially banning anyone from landing on Minami Iwoto. Scientists are no exception. Only one partial one-site survey was conducted in 2007. This is the first comprehensive investigation. Investigating and analyzing Minami Iwoto's natural environment holds great significance. This is Nishinoshima Island, another of the Ogasawara Islands. Since the 2013 eruption of an undersea volcano, it has continued its rapid expansion. Just how life takes hold and evolves in a barren environment such as this is a mystery. Hints may be found on Minami Iwoto. At about 30,000 years old, it likely has an independent ecosystem with creatures undergoing major evolutionary changes. The island offers a rare opportunity to witness the initial stages of dramatic evolution. After a journey of 3 days, The team finally nears its destination. Minami Iwoto.
いや、想像以上にぶっ立ってて迫力満点ですね。いや、こんなにでかいところが出たなっていう感じですね。
The research team consists of 10 leading scientists from different disciplines. Their support crew includes a world-class alpinist, a diver, and a drone pilot. All are accomplished experts in their respective fields. Their first task is to find a place to land. They spot a rocky shore, but the ship can't approach. The scientists pull on wetsuits and set out on a raft. Even it stops short of land due to the risk of capsizing. The crew end up making their way through the rough surf to the beach. Finally standing on shore, they get their first close-up look at the island. Minami Iwoto measures about 2 kilometers across. This is what it would look like if it were placed in central Tokyo. A mountain soaring to about 3 times the height of Tokyo Tower, in an area about 1.5 times the size of the Japanese Imperial Palace. A dauntingly steep elevation gain. The team will meet a base camp while they do their survey. They set their sights on a seemingly gentle ridge halfway up the mountain. They explore possible approaches, but the beach is completely ringed with vertical cliffs, more than 100 meters high. The only possibility is here. Taking the lead is Kazuaki Amano, a world-class alpinist who has scaled 8,000-meter class peaks in the Himalayas. He sets a route, laying climbing ropes along the vertical rock face. The scientists have all trained in climbing techniques for this day. But even the training was a struggle. not. It turns out to hold its own challenges. Rocks tumble down, one after the next.
あ、来た。でかいっす。来た、来た。うわ、危ない。うわ、やべやべ、やべやべやべ。いやー。
しないと当たったら死ぬので。
Loose soil slows their progress. They can't let down their guard. The temperature is nearly 40 degrees Celsius. The unexpectedly steep slopes continue on and on. 58-year-old Satoshi Chiba also took part in the survey 10 years earlier. He's now working to solve a major evolutionary mystery that could help explain the birth of mankind. He's convinced that this island holds a significant clue.
ステージクリアです。お疲れ様です。いや、どうですか、ここ。
ここはきつい。
ね。
危ない、きつい。
危ないっすね。
危ない、きつい。
Once they climb above 300 meters, more and more plants appear. Chiba pauses. He's found an insect.
南オオヒメカタゾウムシです。
The team's entomologist identifies it.
この固有種ですよ。
With a striking black and white pattern, this insect isn't found anywhere on the planet except here. The expedition is off to a promising start.
ハマボスが出てきましたね。今480メートル。
Botanist Koji Takayama finds some white blossoms. He says the plant usually takes root only on the shoreline. It's rare to see it growing on such high ground. Then, another surprise.
隠れ岩ガニですね。
This crab is also usually found around the beach. Experts say it's seldom found several hundred meters above sea level. This island is definitely like no other. After 7 hours of climbing, at an altitude of 500 meters, the team finally arrives at a potential site for a base camp.
ありがとう、本当に。どうもありがとう。
お疲れ様でした。本当に。
It's a clearing in the forest. In spite of the steep slope, they decide to set up tents. This will be the base camp for their in-depth survey of the island. The sun will soon set. Everyone looks for a place to lie down.
斜めだ。斜めです。どこまで行っても斜めです。
あの辺りはまだ。こうやって崩れていくんだ。ここも抜けんじゃない。上で寝れそうですか。無理です。無理ですか。寝返り打ったら落っこっちゃうじゃないですか。
They all end up sleeping in the forest.
学校を足に置いたりして、なんとかして平らにしようと思います。
The first challenging day comes to an end. Or so everyone thought. At 7:30 p.m., just as the team is drifting off, a commotion suddenly breaks out. Something is raining down on them. They're seabirds. Several different species come crashing down through the trees. The birds aren't adept at landing and practically dive to the ground. Nearby, the team spots a nest. The tents appear to be blocking the birds' route to their home. Everyone moves their tents out of the way. Amid the turmoil, one researcher happily gets down to work. Kazuto Kawakami records the species and number of birds that land and tags them so they can be followed. Rare species appear one after another.
黒ミツバメですね。世界中でもこの南硫黄島でしか繁殖していない非常に珍しい鳥です。
Kawakami says this species has been sighted across a wide area, from Southeast Asia to the Indian Ocean. But every one of them was born on this island. Apparently, Minami Iwoto is a hidden paradise for wildlife. The chaotic night is over.
おはようございます。
おはようございます。
眠れましたか？
全然。
それはなぜ？
鳥のせいです。
鳥のせい。
僕シラフに吐き戻しされた。ひどかったですよ。シラフに乗っかってきてゲゲゲゲ。そんなこともあるんだ。
How do creatures arrive on this volcanic island that rose up from beneath the sea? Scientists point to the 3 W's. The first W stands for wind. Plant seeds, spores, insects, and so on are carried here by the wind. The second stands for wave. Living things float on the waves or ride things like driftwood and are brought ashore by the tides. Third is wing. Organisms that become stuck to birds' bodies or mixed in with their droppings land on the island. At about 30,000 years old, Minami Iwoto is still a newborn in terms of the Earth's history. It's a brand new habitat surrounded by a vast ocean, with few predators or rivals. How do newly arrived creatures evolve? It's an ideal natural laboratory for studying evolution. The island has another fascinating feature. It's the variation in climate found at different altitudes. Low-altitude areas range from tropical to subtropical. Areas near the peak are temperate, with average temperatures about 6 degrees cooler than below. In between the two is a rare climate zone called a cloud belt. It's shrouded by thick fog throughout the year due to humid ocean winds. How do organisms evolve in this unique environment? The team leaves base camp for the cloud belt. Plants with massive leaves emerge.
陸の背丈を越すような大谷渡りがたくさん生えてます。
This species, which usually takes root in tree branches, has grown huge here on the rocks.
これ無人白髪オケっていう小笠原の固有種なんですよ。
Large spherical moss nourished by plentiful water.
それこそ何十年じゃないですか、この状態。
The moisture of the mist nurtures life in this distinctive cloud forest. The team starts laying traps to lure creatures. They also set up cameras to observe organisms drawn to the flower nectar. Just then, something dives down from the sky. Then it slowly begins circling. Is it a bird? It's a bat. There are several of them. With a wingspan of 90 centimeters, they're flying in broad daylight. Bats of this species are also found elsewhere, including Chichijima Island. But when flying, they continuously flap their wings, and they're nocturnal. Such behaviors don't apply here. Mammologist Hajime Suzuki catches one.
メスですね。
It's still young, but when he examines its mouth,
すごいすり減ってる。年寄りみたい。
its teeth are worn down. This is a bat from Chichijima Island. The fangs look big and strong. Experts say these bats feed mainly on fruit. In contrast, Suzuki says the teeth of the bat on Minami Iwoto were likely worn down and stained by grass. The island's ecosystem is immature, so fruit is extremely rare. It appears the bat is somehow sustaining itself on grasses. Bats here fly day and night in search of hard-to-find food. And it seems they've learned to fly with minimum wing flapping to save energy. If such environmental adaptations continue, an entirely new species of bat could evolve. Something is caught in one of the traps. The same type of crab the group encountered on the way up. A large number of them have climbed up to the cloud forest, more than 600 meters above sea level.
このカニは卵を産む時には海岸まで降りなきゃいけない種類なんですよ。すごくこうダイナミックに移動しているカニです。ここまで上がっているっていうことはそのカニの研究者でも結構驚くんですよ。
The reason these crabs have climbed so high soon becomes clear.
ずっと掴んでます、左手で。
すげえ。
A bird. It appears the crabs feed on bird carcasses. Since there are no humans on the island, the bird's main predator, rats, are also absent. In their place, crabs have become king in this environment. Mountain climbing crabs, rare anywhere in the world, live here. In response to environmental changes, living things undergo behavioral and even physical adaptations.
なんか入りました。もうなんかすごいことになってる。
A trap set in the hope of discovering new species has quite a load.
たくさんこんなにたくさんいると思わなかった。
Numerous specimens are inside. Even Mori, the entomologist, can't immediately identify them all.
ここから新しい生き物が出てくるかお楽しみですね。
More unusual insects turn up. Then, Mori makes a big discovery. This species of weevil is unique to Minami Iwoto. He's realized that as the elevation rises, the male of this species increases in size.
高くなっていくことによってオス同士の闘争が起きることでオスが大きくなっていくんじゃないかと、そういう進化が起きていく途中なんじゃないかなというふうに予想しているところです。
Areas at higher elevation on this island have more food for the weevils, so their numbers increase, resulting in fiercer competition between males. Mori believes that weevils at higher and lower elevations are evolving differently, depending on where they live. The team members encounter potentially new species, one after another.
なんだこれ。真っ赤なやつだな。この金叩きもなんか真珠かもしれないね。
To date, approximately 400 species of organisms have been discovered on Minami Iwoto. They are in the middle of dramatic evolutionary shifts. Creatures boldly make their way into new environments where they undergo changes to adapt. The team pushes deeper into the cloud forest. Chiba, the evolutionary biologist, is searching for a specific creature. He actually discovered it during the survey 10 years earlier and identified it as a new species. He named it Kodama, or tree spirit, because it lives on tree branches. Chiba believes the Kodama holds the key to unraveling one of the mysteries of evolution. He forges through the thick mountain vegetation all day, like a man in search of a long-lost friend.
いないですね。小玉だけはどうしても見つからないです。
He calls it a day without any luck.
どこにいる？どこにいる？
Early the next morning at base camp, Chiba is worn out and has no appetite.
千葉さんスープも飲んでないですか？飲まなきゃダメだって。
いらない。
水分補給。じゃあお湯でも飲みなさい。
He's badly sunburned too. He's too immersed in his research and gets regular scoldings from the younger members.
今日は大丈夫だよ。そう言って今まで何回失敗してきたんですか？大丈夫ですか？大丈夫じゃない。
大丈夫じゃないと思いますよ、確かに。これ大丈夫じゃないと。
As Chiba continues his hunt, he and the rest of the team decide to aim for the summit. During the survey, the team made a big discovery using state-of-the-art technology. With special permission, they re-engineered this drone so it can ascend 1,000 meters to the summit in one go. Katsuya Noguchi is the pilot. He operates the aircraft to thoroughly investigate areas humans can't approach. He spotted something white dotting the forest above the cliff. A closer look reveals that they're birds.
今13羽ぐらい止まってますね。
The red-footed booby, an endangered species in Japan. True to its name, it's a seabird with red feet. None of their nests have been found in other parts of Japan. Since little is known in the country about their ecology, they've been nicknamed the mystery bird. Hopefully, there's a nest here.
そうですね、もうちょっと近くに寄れればぜひお願いします。
少し高度を落としながら近づいてみます。
あ、これは下にちゃんと枝で組んだ巣があるように期待しちゃうんですけれども。
If it does turn out to be a nest, it would be a major discovery. The drone moves in for a closer look.
これ卵があるんじゃないですか。あ、これそうか。これ卵じゃないですか、これ。食べてるね。
This is what they've found. There really is an egg. It's definitely a nest.
これ卵だよ、これ。完璧ですね。素晴らしい。
A momentous find. The red-footed booby has found a way to survive on the cliffs of this isolated island.
いやー、感無量です。もう本当はあそこまで自分の力で行ってですね、実物を見たいんですけども、それは残念ながらできないんで、もう本当現代のテクノロジーにもう感謝するしかないですね。
An encounter with yet another creature that can be found only on this island. The team members start their ascent to the top. As they move higher, gigantic ferns appear. Standing up to 5 meters tall, they look like relics from the dinosaur age. They finally emerge from the cloud forest and enter the temperate area. The climate here is similar to central Tokyo's. Four hours after leaving base camp, a clear blue sky appears.
Oh. 早朝。あ。やばい。
着いた。
着いた。
いや最高ですよこれ。
A vast expanse of water spreads out as far as the eye can see. The clouds that had been covering the higher elevations suddenly parted, bathing the summit in unusually fine weather. As everyone else takes time to relish the moment, Chiba plunges into the bush to seek the elusive Kodama. He disappears from sight. When he returns, he seems upbeat. In fact, ever since Charles Darwin proposed his evolutionary theory, snails have been indispensable for research. That's because of their shells. Scientists can identify genetic changes by looking at the coiling and patterns of the shells. And because snails travel over a limited area and have a short generation span, they're ideal for observing changes. There's another reason Chiba has focused his attention on the Kodama, the species' origins. After first discovering the snail here in 2007, he searched for it in other locations. He went to Okinawa and Taiwan, thinking the creature may have been carried by sea currents, but to no avail. Then, while working on a separate survey, he found one in a totally unexpected place. The Japanese island of Hokkaido, way up north. These snails live only on damp tree trunks. When Chiba analyzed the genes, he found that they not only resembled the Kodama, but are in fact its ancestors. The snails had traveled south to Minami Iwoto, some 2,000 kilometers away. Chiba believes they hitched a ride on seabirds. Minami Iwoto encompasses a range of climate zones on a single island. For the 2-millimeter-long Kodama, traveling through these zones is like crossing a huge continent. On this island, a huge evolutionary experiment is underway, one that mimics the process of how life spread across the planet.
小さければ小さいほど大きいものにつながるということですね。地球上で起きた非常に大きな進化の縮図という形で非常に大きなものを知ることができる。そういうふうに思います。
Chiba has a certain goal in mind for this survey. 10 years earlier, he discovered the Kodama in the fern forest near the summit. The environment there is wet, similar to the forests of Hokkaido. This time, he plans to investigate if the kodama has expanded its habitat to new environments. He begins his search on the dry grassland. Will he find any kodama snails living in a totally different environment? Chiba has just 5 hours to search around the summit.
取れた。すごい。すげえ。ついてるの全部そうです。茶色く見える丸いのは全部そうです。100以上取れたと思ったんです。
He winds up gathering several hundred kodama on the grassland, proof that they've expanded their habitat to a dry environment. Chiba also catches some in other locations. One group lives on the ground rather than in grasses or trees. He also finds them in the cloud forest. Kodama snails feed on small fungi. Different types of fungi live in different environments, suggesting that the snails have gone through genetic changes, allowing them to produce different digestive enzymes. In short, evolutionary changes have already begun inside the snails' bodies. Then, Chiba makes an additional discovery. He'd previously identified 3 fangs as a characteristic feature of the kodama's shell. But on the grassland, he discovers a group that has no fangs. It seems they have few natural predators here, so they don't need fangs. Chiba also finds subtle changes between the shells of kodama in different areas. This suggests that the original kodama that came from Hokkaido has begun evolving into 5 distinctive groups.
それぞれの住み場所の異なる別の種類が進化しつつある、状況だというふうに考えています。
Chiba says the way the snails are evolving defies conventional wisdom. For example, one group looks exactly like a separate species.
小笠原群島にも父島や母島にもいるんですけど、それはここにもいるんですけど、小玉で見られるような広がりというのは見せてないんです。だからなぜそういう違いがあるのかというのは非常に興味深い問題だと思っています。
There are snail species that don't venture into new environments. The kodama is the first Chiba knows of that has branched out and formed 5 groups all at once. For Chiba, this points to one of the most fundamental mysteries of evolution. Today, from the seas to the skies, mammals are found in every environment on Earth. But all placental mammals evolved from a creature that looked like a rat. Chiba believes a system hidden within genes is partly responsible for this evolutionary explosion. His hunch is that this system provides creatures with the capabilities to expand into new environments and adapt. Kodama snails might be equipped with that system. Chiba believes further study into the kodama's genes could provide clues for unraveling the mystery.
人間も含む生物の多様性を形作った非常に大きなプロセス、それがなぜどのように起きてきたのかというこういう大きな問題を知る上でのモデルケースになると思います。カタツムリの楽園だ。すごいすごい。
the Kodama continues to evolve on an uninhabited island. Could this tiny creature provide a key to unraveling the grand mystery of life? The first ever comprehensive survey of Minami Iwoto lasted for 13 days. It led to new discoveries about the evolution of creatures found only on this island. The scientists worked diligently to record every finding. When they were done, they made sure to leave no trace, taking everything from trash to human waste. Together, they made a firm vow to pass this precious island on to future generations. Minami Iwoto, a natural paradise far out at sea, is once again off limits.